Hi, I'm Linda Downing, and this is my highlight video for my e-portfolio for my educational leadership degree. So here is my beginning of my portfolio. So let's go through these tabs. So first we have my artifact folder. So here is my artifacts, and now I've tried to put them in order that makes easy for someone to review. This is my completed goal video, which I'm not going to go through at this time. This is my leadership philosophy, and I'm going to read a little bit of that about my leadership style. My leadership style is twofold, democratic and transformational. I value the input and feedback of others, while understanding as a leader there will be times I will need to make a decision independently. I find a group decision-making process meaningful and necessary. I enjoy learning and growing as a professional. As a transformational leader, I encourage creativity and empower others by offering support and encouragement. I'm able to clearly articulate my vision and compassion. All right, so now next tab is the plan of study. So this is my plan of study that I have completed. I am working on or finishing my master's degree in building leadership. So we'll take a few minutes to talk about my resume. This is an updated resume. As you can see, my nickname is Marty. I am just completing my 26th year as a special educator, and that's talked about here. Next, we'll talk about my activity component tracker. So here is my completed tracker. You can tell that I have marked off the various different components that I have completed. I was able to complete find an activity for all but one, which is here. Component 4.1 for standard living and instruction. I tried very hard to find a component to complete that, but I was unable to find one. So here's my activity form. So I'm going to switch to another page that shows it a little larger. This is my activity form. You can see that I went ahead and divided each of the various components for the activity form. So green is district, orange is elementary activities, and blue is secondary activities. As you can see, here are the numbers, and I have a total of 245 activity hours. So, as you can see, in my district, I have only used 5 standards and have not doubled used a standard more than once, is what I'm trying to say. And as you work across here, you can see that I have not shared any of the components or done a component more than once. Here you can see that this is activity D and activity C, so each of those are separate. So I worked very hard to make sure that I followed those particular instructions, or really all instructions for this. Okay, so now we'll take time to look at my administrative verification. I have 2 of those. One that was done by the first one is done by my principal, which is Stephanie Couch. She is our principal K through 8 at Buckland Schools. We did go over this together, and she also took the time to review all of my materials ahead of time, and I shared that with her because that was something that was very important to the both of us. The second one is Mr. Lampy. He is our superintendent and high school principal. So he and I also went through my portfolio on 2 separate occasions. It's hard to get both of the administrators in the same room at the same time. So we were managed to be able to go through all of that. Next, we have my annotated bibliography. This was the most challenging and most time-consuming piece that I found in the portfolio. It is a total of 65 pages. I will not read through any of that at this time, but I do want to point out that I was very careful about my APA format. See, Dr. Moody, it steps down like it's supposed to. So all of those are completed with the summary and assessment and reflection for each of the 33 articles that we were required to have, and with a minimum of 150 words apiece. So now let's take some time talking about the district activities that I chose. So here are the district activities. I found it easier to go ahead and switch to a different format so you could actually see it better because it's very small on there. So there's 3 things that I would like to take time to look at in my district activity. First is the district leadership team meetings. We are in our 5th year of the KISA process, and I was lucky to be on the district leadership team from the 1st year to the 4th year. Our district decided to rotate new DLT members so my membership ended this year. However, it really was a great opportunity for me. And here is my, as you can see, this is hot linked. So you can see that this is my agenda for that particular activity. And then here are the meeting dates also, which is also hot linked, as you can see. But I won't take time to go through those. So I just wanted to show that those were actually there and part of the artifact. So let's move on. We have to go quickly here. Another opportunity they had for the district was to do Schools for Quality Education Board of Directors meeting, which was a great opportunity. I really enjoyed going to that. And lastly, let's talk about, I'm on the Professional Development Committee for SKACD, which is Southwest Kansas Area Cooperative, which is my employer, and that has been a really great opportunity also. So an agenda is hot linked to that. So now we'll go back and take a look at our elementary activities. So here are my elementary activities. There's ones that I want to go through very quickly. My time is running out. I did have the opportunity to shadow the principal, which is Mrs. Couch. Shadow was more like keeping up with Mrs. Couch. She was really great to allow me to be able to do that. The next thing that I wanted to take a look at was the opportunity to work with Title I Family Night. And I created the invitation for that along with a POW tune to be used, and also participated that evening. Okay, so let's switch over to secondary so we have time to go through make sure we have enough time to go through the reflection. So the secondary activities, so we'll go through those really fast. We did, my superintendent and I did spend some time talking about our mission statement, and he was also concerned that it had not been updated in a while. So we're actually going to take a look at that after when first semester begins. So that's excellent. Let's see, I also wanted to talk about SIT team, which is something that has changed in our school for the last 2 years, which I'm very happy about as being a special educator. The teachers join the core SIT team during their planning period, and that makes the process more individualized for the staff as well as the students. So that has really been a great experience. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was FAPE compliance. That is something that I take very seriously as a special educator. You can see I went ahead and chose 20 hours, although this is something that I do and my pairs do on a daily basis, hourly basis. So this is talking about their current services and some of my students whose names have been redacted, and then also my district, both district calendars, because that's something that we do all of the time. All right, so this is very quick. Okay, so now I have about 5 minutes to talk about the reflection, which I think is an excellent amount of time, I hope. So here is, the reflection is here. I wanted to make sure that you could see that it is here. I'm just trying to make sure I get done as quickly in this 15 minutes as I can. So there I did highlight some things that I specifically wanted to go over. So at the beginning of my practicum, I had no idea what was in store for me and the amount of hours it would take to complete all the various parts of the practicum. I also assumed the practicum would have modules I was required to complete along with the due dates. Foolishly, I thought completing my practicum would not require the amount of work or time that other courses I had previously completed, an assumption I would later regret. So, time. My practicum has been all about time management, a common theme in my life. I have learned I need time to contemplate my answer to a given question or a situation during my coursework. Therefore, that time must also be scheduled. The amount of time needed to complete the various school activities was not difficult for me. I was able to find activities that fit all but one of the components. Not having modules with instructions to complete with very defined due dates was an obstacle for me. If it left me feeling a little adrift. I overcame this obstacle by creating due dates for myself and sticking to those due dates. I made sure that I gave myself enough time to think about the task and to complete the task to ensure I would be pleased with the result. Sorry, I'm reading so quickly, but I want to make sure I can get all of this in. Okay, so my conjecture statement. As a special education administrator, I will need to fully explore the time it will take to think about and complete a task or project to the best of my ability. It will be imperative to break down the task in a series of steps with the given due dates and adhere to those due dates. And another thing I wanted to point out, however, I do have some basic principles for myself that I have created during my reflection and during my time completing the whole program. First, I need to read thoroughly everything you're given, ask questions, ask for additional time if needed, plan for contemplative time, make timelines for yourself and stick to them, really research a task, the amount of time needed to complete it, and plan for that time. Never underestimate yourself and give grace, especially to yourself. So as I reflect on my experiences with the program and the practicum, there are two ideas that are clearly emerged. One, my need for time to contemplate and my passion for supporting special educators. I am thinking about both concepts conjunctively. Too often school leaders assume they know what all educators require to become effective leaders. Too many times, they are completely off base. I do not want to be one of those school leaders. Therefore, I will need to take the time to answer the question, what do special educators need to be effectively serving students with disabilities? So here's the last little bit. Completing both the courses and the practicum for my Fort Hays State University's Building Leadership program has changed my views as an educator, special educator, and school leader in ways too numerous to count. Some conscious and others unconscious. I came into the program as a veteran special educator of 24 years, and I left as a novice school leader. I can safely say there is no way I would have been prepared to step into school administration without this program. The program was challenging, frustrating, life-changing, and at times tear-evoking. I am all the better for completing it. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to grow and spend time being a student at Fort Hays State University. I will endeavor to make the program and the university proud of my future position, wherever it is and wherever I am planted. Go Tigers!